Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Monday. I hope you're having a lovely day. Today's video is a classroom renovation in Copperdale High School, and we're going to be starting with a science lab. Now, before I get into my rationale for starting here, I just want to let you know that I was concerned about functionality, and I do use non-traditional seating, meaning I don't use the student desk, so I was concerned. And when I play tested it, everything worked fine. They do get out of their seats to use their notebooks and stuff, and they sit on the floor, but they stay in the room. So it seems that functionality is tied to the whiteboard and not the student desk, which I figured was the case, but I never want to assume because we all know how funky the Sims can be when it comes to routing. So that's a disclaimer. I did play test. Now, for my rationality, there's several thoughts that led to this point, so I'm going to try to make this cohesive. Point number one, I've wanted to do a series here for a while, and I've never had the time to fully commit to it because in true Amy fashion, I just am always busy, and I do that on purpose, not to be able to say, oh, I'm busy, but because that's just what works best for me. If I am bored, I get into mischief. I can't be bored. I'm just not one of those people that can have nothing to do. It's just not who I am. So I've had school. I was finishing my undergrad for half of last year, and then I took a well-needed break because it was deserved. It was definitely necessary. And then, yeah, 2023 was approaching, and I decided that it was the time to embrace the opportunity. Now, so for the series, what I'm planning to do is just to renovate every single room in this building. I don't know if I'll do consecutive videos, as in it'll be every single Monday video. I think I'm gonna do some as bonus videos. I haven't quite figured out the logistics yet because this is my first time doing something like this, and I just don't know how it's gonna go. So we'll see, but it is going to be a series. You will see each room come to life in a way. Now, I guess the next part of this rationale, I'm trying to think of what's the best order to go in. I could build my own school. I could have started from the ground up. I'm having a little bit of a mental roadblock when it comes to exteriors. Like, I just don't want to do landscaping right now, and I just don't want to build an exterior in general. I also don't want to build a high school. I could think of a million other things I'd rather do than build a high school in this game. This lot is massive. I don't like massive lots in general. I'm just not very comfortable with anything bigger than a 30 by 20. So I released myself from that obligation, and I felt like a renovation was more suited to what I am capable and comfortable with doing, if that's fair to say. Now for two, I know that I could just download a lot from the gallery, and I've definitely done that. I've played in a few of the other creations. There are some beautiful things, they're stunning, on the gallery, but I wanted to uphold the integrity of what the Sims team has given us, but it just needed to be better. And I don't mean that to sound conceited. When you download the DLC and you pop into the school, it's empty. And the reason they do that is because the more assets that are on a lot, the harder it is on your machine to load them in. It can take longer, especially if you have a lower end machine. So I get it. I understand functionally why they did that, but what I don't understand is why there is not a single piece of artwork on the walls. That is not conducive to learning. It irks me, and so I'm fixing that. And I, as a game player, am a family game style player. That felt weird to say, but I play with families more often than not, and so I do still use the high school pack. I don't go with my sim every single day, but I go enough that I've been here a few times in the standard lot, and it's enough that it just makes me not want to come back. So we're fixing that. I think that's all my points I wanted to make. I can't remember now what I said and not said. Anyway, the Cliffs Notes version, I wanted to do a series for a while. This is where I've decided to start, and we're gonna just make the school pretty. That's the plan, Stan. And I started with a high school lot simply because I knew we had some science. That's not what I meant. I started with a science lab because I knew we had some science assets for the classrooms, like that periodic table and just a few other things. So that was the inspo. Now you kind of saw me pull out desk. I decided to forego that just because the classroom size was not going to allow me to have a lab going up along a wall, have student desks, and then still have the teachers area. So I kind of nixed that, but like I said, it does work. So we have the labs here in the back. I do include, I think, two, I don't remember what they are. I don't remember if it's the analyzer. We're about to pull them out. It's some sort of sciencey thing that came with Get to Work. But they're in the back. They don't use them during the class, but your sim can always stay after school to use them. I think it's not the telescope. What am I trying to think of? Anywho, you'll see it. So I do include those. I think it's a chemistry station. But we have the labs in the back with the learning area. I'm using air quotes. And then at the front of the room, these things. At the front of the room, we have a teacher's desk and the whiteboard. It was really important to me to include a teacher's desk. They won't use it, they won't sit there, and that's perfectly fine, but that kind of adds flavor, spice, intrigue. It adds all of that stuff to the classroom. And I only have American education to go off of here, but if you go to a high school, classrooms aren't shared. Your teacher basically is assigned a space and they decorate it and they teach in that space. There are some schools where that is the case, where they do share, but in my experience, it's not a thing that happens unless they're a specialized teacher. Like if they do some sort of remedial, they might share a space, but that's not like your everyday classroom experience. So I wanted a desk. I wanted to kind of show off the personality, and this is truly a science lab. I'm thinking mostly biology, kind of, but science in general. So it could be chemistry, it could be whatever. I forgot we had that little skeleton guy, and I screamed. I squealed. It was like a shriek. That was 3 different types of things, but I made a noise, an audible noise. When I saw it and pulled it out, I was like, well, you're coming with me. And that made me really happy. I love that little detail. I think my favorite area of the room is the teacher's area, just because it feels scholarly and cozy, and I don't know, it was so much fun to just kind of throw some clutter on the desk. I think this teacher is mostly organized. She's a little bit behind on grading. I am picturing a she. I was picturing Miss Frizzle, for those of you who know. If you know, you know. So she's a little bit behind on grading. Her coffee mug has probably not been washed all year. She just sort of tosses her stuff down on the desk, and she trusts her students enough to know that they're not going to steal anything. Not that they would anyway. And I love the idea of what kind of teacher this lady would be. But that's pretty much it for the build. So I'm going to leave this open for the comments. If you guys want to leave suggestions for what rooms you want to see next, please feel free to do so. I think I'm going to do the next classroom next, and I'm torn between doing an art room, like an art studio type of thing, or a English language arts type of class. So if you have an opinion or a specific desire to see something, go ahead and leave that down below, and we'll see how that pans out. As always, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below letting me know what you think. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram if you want to hop over there and check those out, and the tray files for this build will be available for download in a Sims file share link down below. It will also be on the gallery for those of you who use the gallery, so that's where you can find that. I will see you on Monday with my next video, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
I've heard the talk on the town. They say you're alone now. They say that you